How's it going?
It's going
Waffles?
good. It's
Pretty
going
good?
good, Maui. It's going good.
Tough week?
Kind of, yeah.
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 So last time we talked about investing. How's that going for you, homie?
Oh, I'm up. I'm up on Robinhood. That's good.
There you go. There you go.
Got it.
I realized today, dude, that if I still had a girlfriend, I would not be able to put any money into investing right now.
Yeah, those needless displays of affection, they get you in the wallet every
Oh,
time.
100%, dude. You take your girl out anywhere, and that's like $100 more than you expected to spend.
Right? Like fucking dinner? Shit.
Seriously, though, dude. Or like you want to go out and have fun, go to the bars and whatnot. Like those are fun times. Don't get me wrong, but like having this moment to be able to like be single and like invest my money to like hopefully like accrue feels pretty nice.
Well, I'll be honest with you, right? I know nothing about what you're talking about because I've been with my girlfriend for 6 to 7 years. We're going on 7. And she knew from the moment I was a broke bitch. She knew from the get. I had no money to my name, and I still don't.
That's how you know they a real one, though, bruh.
Oh, bro, what the?
I would love to look for a girl like that.
You know what she told me today? She was like, yeah, I'm going to save up money so I can get in the stock market and then buy a house. When's this house coming along? She was like, after you graduate, you can help. I was like, oh, okay. Well, but
trophy husband over here.
Right. But you're right. Like when you're dating strangers, right? Or
you're just dating in general.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, when you're dating in general, right? Like totally.
Because like, yeah, that takes money, man, and like all that money that you take. Like, don't get me wrong. It's for me, that was money well spent. I had a great time when I was like trying to date around and having fun, hanging out. But like, now that I'm not doing all that, especially with like, with all the quarantines and whatnot, like it really gave me the opportunity to like take that money and try and like invest it.
Right.
But again.
But like, hear me out. What would happen like though if your ex came back? Just randomly one day.
Oof. I
mean, you guys could still be friends, right?
I don't know about that.
You don't think?
I mean, if they came, I don't know, man.
Well, let's get into be your friend.
Well, let's get into that topic then. It's your boy Maui
and your boy Waffles,
and this is
Couch Surfers.
We got a question, and it will come from our editor.
Oh, right, yes.
So last week, my coworker and I had this heated debate at work, and we're debating whether you could still be friends with your exes. And at first I was like, well, if it's on good terms, but he's like, no, you're not thinking straight. This man plowed this girl for X number of years. They have history. They have baggage. Are you willing to let her still keep that on the table and just be friends with this dude while you're dating her now?
So you're saying you think it's possible?
100%.
100%.
100%.
Okay,
Here's my reasoning for it.
Let's hear it.
Here's my reasoning. I only have one ex in my life. And I know, a heartbreaker like me, pajama pants and a sweatshirt.
This Adonis over here.
Yep, with this belly that goes on for days. One ex, I know. Hard to believe. But hear me out. I love my ex's boyfriend. He is the most wholesome fucking dude. Like, hear me out, right? Hear me out. We broke up. Here's a story. I don't know if I told you this. We broke up, me and my ex. We had been broken up for like maybe a month, 3 weeks. And by the way, I was a total wreck, and she knew it the whole time. And our religion professor thought it would be a fucking beautiful idea to make us project partners for a 1 month long project.
What was the project? Was it like?
It was like, are you happy? And you both have to go out and interview people. Either way, we had to make a video, do a slideshow, make a presentation together. So for that week, even though I was a wreck, I was still able to go over. We were still able to hang out, and we could be friends. But at the same time, she had a new boyfriend. But I'm used to how I hang out over at her place, right? I'm not over in the living room like, oh, hey, how you doing? I know we're broken up. I'm in her bedroom. I'm laying in her bed. we're not cuddling, but we're laying next to each other. Well, she's on her laptop and I'm on my phone. Her boyfriend Skypes her, sees us both in bed. This man had every right to be like, who the fuck are you hanging out with my girlfriend? You broke her heart, bitch. What the fuck? Nah, he went, hey, nice to meet you, dude. So good to meet you. Bianca told me tons about you. And yeah, and I was like, holy shit, I like this dude. You know why? Because you don't deserve him. Now, in fairness, he was a really nice guy and she's a really nice girl. But going forward with that, she heard that and she wasn't like mad. She was like, how dare you say that? She joked. She was like, yeah, I'm glad to know I don't deserve him, but you don't deserve me. And I was like, ooh, nice. But we still could joke around like that. We could still be friends.
Uh-huh.
We're not going to be friends now because, quite frankly, we went our own separate ways in life. And us being in each other's lives made no fucking sense.
Yeah. So are you friends though?
Yeah.
You just said that you guys aren't friends.
We don't communicate now. I could text her up and we could have a conversation as friends.
Yeah.
Or maybe acquaintances, but we're not enemies.
Maybe that's where like we differ on this, at least in the terms of like friends, right? Because my definition of friends probably is different from yours. Because when I think of friends, it's like friends are like those close people, like brothers. Like that's the people who are in my friend circle, right? I have a smaller subcircle of like homies, right? My bros, but like you have to really be like active in my life to be a friend. You know, everyone else, like they're not nothing, they're acquaintances.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like all those people like in high school and whatnot, like sure I hung out with them and like they were friends at that time, but like they went on to go, just like you said, they went on to go do their own things. We stayed out of touch. So they kind of fell out of that friend circle.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, also, by the way, right, when you do break up with a person, it's all about the breakup, right? Me and my ex did not end up on friendly terms where we both came together. We sat at a table. We looked in each other's eyes and we're like, I'm trying to be a computer engineer and go to college at Stanford. You're trying to be a therapist or whatever the fuck she was trying to be and go to college in wherever the fuck she is. Pennsylvania, I think, right? Now, that's not how it went down. I sucked a dick. She got mad. That's how that went. So and now with that in mind, we're not friends because when we were in a relationship, we weren't friends, right? I wasn't out here like, what are the things we have in common? You know, like you like video games, I like video games. It's not the same thing. I like video games like League of Legends, you know, Overwatch, you know, Magic the Gathering. That's not even a video game. That's a card game, right? She liked Animal Crossing and, you know, what's that other one with the farms that's not Animal Crossing or Stardew?
I don't know.
No, not Farmville. It's like something.
I was thinking Farmville too.
I can't remember the name about it. I can't remember. Harvest Moon. That's the one. Harvest Moon. That's what she was into, right?
Uh-huh.
Go past that. Everything else I was to that woman was someone who helped her with her homework, Skyped her for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Yeah. Cooked her meals for her and her younger siblings, helped her clean the house, and helped her clean her turtles tank. That's all I was. We had no common interest. I played basketball. I like to be popular. She could give a fuck about those popular kids.
Yeah.
So that's why we weren't friends, right? Because we weren't friends to begin with. Okay?
But you think you can be an active friend with someone you were in a relationship with?
I believe right now if me and this woman could find some common ground. Huh?
So my hypothetical to you is, if you and your current girlfriend broke up, would you still be friends?
100%. You think I'm gonna leave Cassie?
No.
And
see, but that's
not. No, I don't.
Hypothetical, like y'all went through so much. Do you think there would be more pain every time you hung out than there would be happiness?
No, 100% it'd be more happiness. Because here's my thing, right? Once you get to a certain point, you gotta admit to yourself that there's a person out there that knows you better than anybody else. The person you show that side to that you don't show your friends or the public, right? That person's out there, and they know that, right? So you can't not be friends at that point. Because me and Cassidy broke up today, right? And you could make it the most ugly breakup in the world. If she ever needed anything, she could call me up.
Okay, but like, would you be constantly hanging out with her or like being active as a friend?
What the fuck? Where would I go?
But you don't think like there'd be sexual tension?
Of course there'd be sexual tension. I fucked my ex. And then Cassie started dating me, and I had no more reason to fuck my ex. You can't tell me you didn't fuck your ex.
Oh no, like that's happened. Yeah.
Right. So what's the problem with sexual tension?
See,
Here's
you're fucking your ex. Her current probably is like, there's what the fuck?
But see, that's not a problem on me being friends with my ex. That's a problem on my partner having to understand that I'm still in that person's life. That's a problem with
that. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Is like, really, this really sucks for the person who's jumping in the relationship with whoever. So like the new person, his new girl, right?
But I would respect that if their current partner did not enjoy my company, right? Did not enjoy me being friends with her, she would have to pay me the respect to say, hey, my partner doesn't really enjoy this setup. I can't all out go and be like, he doesn't even know me. He doesn't need to know me, right? I'm your past. If you want your present to be happy, just be respectful and be like, hey, my partner's not really comfortable having you around all the time. Now, I know that's a hard thing to do. Cass would probably listen to this, think of one specific example, shove it in my face when she finally hears it. But until then, right, I get it, but that's on the partner, right? Because even my ex's parents were a perfect example, right? Her dad, no matter what, when he was dating, when he got a girlfriend, when he was single, whoever he was fucking, he told him the truth. He was like, listen, I got an ex. And we're like this. Something happens to her, I know about it. Something happens to me, she knows about it. And on top of that, by the way, I just want to say this right now. What was your shortest relationship with an ex?
Like 6 months.
6 months.
Yeah.
Right. What was your longest?
2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
Right. I say until your current gives you the effort to know you as well as they did, asking them to not be friends with their ex is kind of rude. You know what I mean? You didn't learn your ex overnight, right?
No, that's true. Right? I agree with that.
When you were starting to date your ex, it wasn't like when you were dating her, she didn't have an outlet to go to before she had you.
I feel like this question is just so loaded sometimes because, like, I've been in multiple relationships, right?
Mm-hmm. More than me.
And, like, just speaking from experience, every single one, like, I just don't talk to them anymore. So, like, I don't think I'd consider them friends. You know what I mean? Like, we're on good terms. I'm on good terms with most, I think, right? Hopefully all. But, like, to consider them a friend, and I think that's the whole point for me, at least, is because, like, the moment, I mean, for some of them, it was like, yeah, I just don't want to be in that situation where I know that someone else is fucking her, for me, I'm just like, I'm good, I had feelings for that person, and for some of them, like, they still linger, and I'm like, all right, I need to not be around that. Knowing that someone else is potentially, like, in a relationship.
That pipe.
Yeah, whatever the case may be, like treating her better, worse, or whatever. I just like.
Here's my thing.
That's not. That's all personally me though.
See, here's my thing, right? I have to admit now, my ex is in a weird position, right? One, because the reason why I still call her my friend is because we were broken up for like 5 years. And even then, she still took some time out of her year to go ahead and try to catch up with me. We haven't done it in recent years because, quite frankly, there's no point. Right? What does me knowing anything about her life do for her? Right? What does her knowing anything about my life do for me? Nothing.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, like, I would be in the same thing. If an ex had to be a specific exes.
Right.
If one of them came up to me and was like, "Hey, you want to go grab a beer? I'm in town." I'm like, yeah, why not?
Yeah.
But again, I'm like, I wouldn't think that her and I are friends. You know what I mean? I'd just be like, all right, it's just two people catching up on their past. That's it.
I mean, yeah,
Again, but that's what I feel like. Again,
I guess you're right. Like,
it's like that's good
what's
terms.
Your standard of friend.
That's good terms, and yeah, that's not a friend.
Right.
We're just on good terms.
And I get that, but like, when does it become a friendship? Like, if she's still comfortable enough to ask you for help,
so
are you still friends?
No, I don't know. I don't think so.
Right, but if you needed help and she agreed,
I don't ask for help.
Right, but if you asked her,
that's a bad question to ask me, homie. That's a bad question to ask me.
If you were in the hospital and she came to visit your ass because you broke your back for the second time, she's a friend at that point because she made the effort to get out and check you out in the hospital. You don't even want to see this bitch. She still went.
No, it's not a matter of I don't want to see him. It's just that like what goes on is like life happens,
is
right?
Is that more of a matter of they don't want to let go versus being friends?
Here's my thing. It's not a matter of didn't want to let go. You haven't talked to your ex in how long? She let you go. You ended up in the hospital and she heard about it. And she wanted to check in on you just to make sure you're not paralyzed or some bullshit.
But yeah, that could just be because, like, I mean, could that be a friend or could it just be like, oh, I knew that person, I remember what they meant to me, and I just want to make sure they're okay. Again, that doesn't mean you have to be friends.
Well, what is a friend? If not a person that means something to you or at least meant something to you, right? Me and Reese, right? He was on another episode. I don't talk to Reese, right? We don't catch up. We don't make sure we know what's happening in each other's lives all the time.
Do you guys have a group chat? Do you guys talk kind of often?
When was the last time you saw me put a message in that group chat? When?
You found out that he has a dog.
Right. Did I put a message? Did I say good job? Did I say congratulations? No, I didn't say shit to them. I'm still his friend. I'm still his friend because he knows that no matter what happens, I'm his friend.
I mean, I consider him my friend too.
Right. And did you say something to him?
No. Okay. I'm just not in the group chat. But like
wait, what the fuck? Is this nigga not in the group chat?
He means he's not active in the group chat.
I'm not active in the group chat either, Steve.
But we visited him in the last year.
Yeah, I'm not gonna hop on a plane to Pennsylvania to go say hi to my ex-girlfriend.
I think that's the point he's making.
Yeah, that's what I mean, though.
But if she lived an hour away,
you would go hang out.
I went if she wanted to. Yeah, if she was like, "Hey, you want to grab a couple drinks this weekend?" like you just said, I'd say yeah.
So here's my thing, right?
My problem though is my current girlfriend would find that very uncomfortable because that is a very weird situation.
100%. Here's my thing though, right? When I broke up, I had a few relationships in Arizona when I was living there.
Yeah.
Right? Those girls, one of them was like 2 hours away. Right? The other one was like 20 minutes. I didn't want to hang out with that one who's 20 minutes away.
Yeah. She's not your friend. Because you don't want to be friends with her, Steve.
I mean, no, not really.
Okay. There you go. That's what I mean, right? A friendship goes both ways. You have to want to be her friend, and she has to want to be yours. If just one of you, doesn't feel that way, then you guys aren't friends. But if neither of you have any particular feeling about it, right? Because it wasn't like my ex went up to me and was like, you know what? I want nothing to do with you. We're not friends anymore. No, she came up to me. She was like, we might be able to handle a second chance, right? We might be able to go back together. Now, my current girlfriend saw that, and being the homie she fucking was, went, that's a trap. Let me just treat you right for the rest of your life, then, if this is the man you're going to be. But that's not really why she got with me. She got with me because she just felt like it, really. But either way, right? My ex would never, ever come up to me in any respect and, like, talk shame on who I am in person, at least. What I did was I cheated on her. In that respect, in that action, yeah, she has every right on earth to go talk mad shit about me. But I don't care because I know what I did. Other than that, she's still comfortable enough to come up and be like, hey, how you been? I've been good. What's up with you? She let me know when she moved in with her new boyfriend. She let me know she was getting married. And she said she might even send me an invite when it happens. That's a friend. Now, am I allowed to go to that wedding? No. What the fuck? Her family scares the shit out of me. That's a whole other story. But yeah, like your ex isn't. You guys get 3 choices with your ex. You guys are either non-existent to each other again, right? The whole we became strangers with memories, right? There's that, right?
That's like usually how most, in my opinion, that's how most of that shit turns out.
99% of them turns out. Because again, why? Unless this person is helping you out. Like my mom and dad, they've been broken up. They don't even talk to each other. They barely talk to each other now. My dad is there for my mom no matter what. It doesn't even have to do with me. Just that's their friendship and their exes and their significant and my dad's significant other doesn't like my mom. He's still her friend and my mom's still his. But other than that specific kind of example, right?
See,
where
again, I guess I stand out on this one because like I feel like I would do that for some of my exes, probably all of them, but just because like not because they're friends, but just because like I'm like okay, if you're really that desperate that you need that you
your
come to
definition
me.
of friend is different though, right? Your definition of friend. If somebody sold you a car for $1,000 and never talked to you again, they're not your friends.
No.
You would say they're not your friend. I'd be like, oh fuck, I love that guy. He gave me a car for fucking $1,000. What does he need? How's he been? You know, that's the difference. Everybody's my friend.
Yeah,
Everybody's
I guess your term of friend is just very broad.
I'm very broad with my friend because I'm not judging. I don't wait. But either way, you get 3 examples. You get the strangers with memories, you get enemies, or you get friends, and that's it. And let me tell you now, if you get most 99% of the time, you'll end up strangers with memories, right? Yeah, what we had was either great or it was garbage. Either way, it's over now. I have things I got to do with my life. You have things you got to do with your life. That's fine. But if you're not going to settle for that, right? If you're not just going to accept the fact, or if you need one or the other, you want friends over enemies. Because I'm telling you this. My ex knows too much about me for me to ever go and say, fuck that bitch outright. Because quite frankly, she knows too much about me. Can't say anything else to that. She knows what I'm like, what I like, who I am on the inside. She knew I was a femboy before I knew I was a femboy. She knew I was bisexual before I knew I was bisexual. What the fuck? Okay? Somebody like that just doesn't pop out of your life and fade into the shadows because that's sketchy to me. I need to know what's happening in their life so I know they're not out here trying to get me handled.
I tried to go that route though. I tried to like become friends with an ex. I tried it at least once or twice. My most recent time I tried it, it just never worked out. You know, it just never worked out for whatever reason.
Well, it didn't.
Like I would like I've genuinely considered they're her friend for sure. I've been like, yeah, we could hang out outside of this shit. Like, go.
Oh, no, I would never hang out with my ex.
Okay, hold on.
Besides the beer thing, now.
So my experience is slightly different because we don't know if we're gonna count my relationship as a relationship. Basically, we were kind of in touch in the high school, mainly because same community. We live in the same area. I just went to a different school further away, so we still see each other on the weekends because my family was still involved in church, whatever.
Yeah.
But then college comes around. I'm at Deanza.
Oh, don't get me started on that shit.
I didn't talk to anybody for like 2 years, right? So I was off the radar, didn't talk to nobody. Maybe people's birthdays come up, I just text them, whatever. Then I went to Berkeley, which somehow ended up 30 minutes from her current college, and her parents both went to Berkeley, so she grew up knowing the area. So the year I went to Berkeley, they had us there a week early for like orientation. And when you're a community college person, you're like, we already know college. You're basically just there to see campus. And she was like, wait, you haven't been around Berkeley? Do you even have your car? I was like, no. So she was like, I'm just gonna come pick you up and then I'll show you around Berkeley. Alright, so that happened. But then throughout the semester, one time she was like, are you free? I was like, oh, I'm going to go to BART to go home. And she was like, okay, I can meet you in downtown. We'll grab food. So we grabbed food, whatever. Then another time, her and one of our other friends who's been on the episode, Kristen, were up by Berkeley for a concert. And they were like, let's just stop by and say hi to Neil. So I just came down. I thought I was just going to say hi. But then Kristen looks at me and says, look, she's going to drive me all the way home and drive all the way back, and it's already midnight. I don't want her driving alone after we just went to a concert. She was like, will you go? And I was like, okay, I'm going to just go. Whatever, it doesn't matter. We catch up. Whoop-de-whoop. So we go whatever, right? And then we had one more instance like that where we got ice cream. But every single time she always would say there's some sexual tension. I even remember they went to get food once and came to my apartment after getting food and drinks, and then we were all just chilling there. She pulled me aside and was like, "There's some sexual tension. I feel whatever." Then we did the freaking dance.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, we had to switch partners.
She made up this whole thing that her boyfriend didn't want me to be her partner, but it was just her because she felt like there was too much sexual tension. Like, I feel like at a point, the sexual tension gets in the way so much, you literally cannot be friends.
Well, see,
it's just not.
But that's only if you have,
that, bro.
That's only if you have sexual tension. Me and my ex have zero sexual tension.
I'm saying, what are the chances that people don't have sexual tension? Because I feel like a lot of times, okay, if you're already in a relationship, of course you're not gonna have sexual tension because you literally shouldn't. Like, I mean, like, you're dedicated to this.
I don't know.
I mean, people cheat. We all know it. Right? We exhibit it.
Whoa.
We all know people.
Whoa,
not everyone, bro. I'm clean,
Kirsten,
homie.
the dick
I'm
I
clean.
sucked, there was zero sexual tension. I was just curious.
Alright, but if you're not in a relationship, the other person's not in a relationship, the sexual tension might be there just based on the fact people be horny, and it might have just been a while.
I feel like it just depends on how this relationship ends.
Your sexual, the type of sexual tension, right? Because me and Cassie broke up. We fucked for the next couple months, maybe a couple years.
But see, like, okay,
I don't know.
because we went to school for so long that I wouldn't say it's like we're like super good friends. Yeah, at some point last year we caught up or whatever, like on Snapchat, whatever. I'm not the type that blocks people on social media, right? So everyone will still be on there. Like, I still have her sister on stuff. She might like message me, or I might respond to a story or whatever. But I wouldn't say like I'm gonna just go hang out with her all the time.
No. Right.
I don't know if like our friendship has definitely dropped in tiers. Like, she's more on the acquaintance side than the friendship side.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, again, it's all about what is a friend to you and what's a friend to them.
But we need to define these parameters, because like where you're taking this, like, it's just too broad of a subject where like we can agree. Just my definition of good terms is the same as yours as friends, right? Yeah. So like let's bring the parameters down a bit into the situation where we can agree on. Okay. So the situation is you break up with your ex, but you're still hanging out with her often.
Okay.
You're in a relationship with the girl to the point where like you go hang out with that ex. You tell your current girlfriend, hey, I'm actually gonna hang out with so and so. You know what I mean? Like it's that kind of a relationship with that ex as a friend.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And if that is the case, my answer is now no.
Oh, really? Interesting. Okay.
Because me and my ex had so little in common. There was no reason for me to ever actually try to hang out with her because there was nothing we'd like to do together.
Okay. Take yourself out of that experience and put yourself in an experience where like it's an ex where you had commonalities.
Now,
where you can hang out.
Now, yeah, you're right. Now, if me and Cassie broke up, I'd be over at Cassie's house
all the time.
Every single day. We'd be just watching TV, or I'd be chilling or whatever, right? Because the difference now is, compared to my ex, is with my current girlfriend, if we did break up, we know we meant so much more to each other than our other... Because Cassie has more exes than I do, and she hates all their guts. They're all pieces of shit, right? And I agree, because I know these people too. I also agree they are pieces of shit. I could be nice to them.
Yeah.
And that's where the whole problem came in. I'm too friendly, apparently.
And to preface this, I just want to take this as like again, we're not taking into account like let's say you guys break up and Cassie's new boyfriend is not cool with you. We're not counting that. Like, fuck that.
Yeah.
We're just strictly talking about the relationship of you and your ex.
Right. We're only talking about you and the person you are no longer with. Not the person that person's new person right
now.
Right.
If that's the factor of why you can't be friends, like we're kind of like we know that's a thing. We know that's definitely a thing. But we're just going to like kind of mull over that right now and just talk on that personal scale of like, can you still hang out with your ex?
No, I cannot. I would like to say she's still my friend, in the sense that, there's still part of me out there that would go and say, oh, she's in trouble. Maybe I help her out. But if it's a matter of if she was back in town and she was back in town for a month,
Mm-hmm.
and she was like, "Yeah, well, I'm back in town. Let's go do all these things." I'd probably say no. I'd probably be like, "We can grab a beer, maybe twice."
Yeah.
Call it a day.
Yeah.
Because whatever she would want to do, I'm not about. Right. And in that scenario, yes, we're not friends.
Right.
Because, in that sort of friendship, that requires an effort that I'm not willing to give her anymore.
Yeah.
And in that instance, fine, yeah, I see why you can't be friends with your ex. Because, when you go out, when you leave a relationship where you were putting effort in, trying to impress each other, trying to make each other happy, and then you go from that to, oh, do we still want to put this effort in, right? Because, hear me out. With Cassie right now, we can be friends purely because of the fact that I still want to make Cassie happy.
Sure.
Even if we were broken up, I'd still want her to be happy.
Sure.
With my ex, I still want my ex to be happy.
Mm.
I'm not going to put any active effort in to try to make her happy.
Right.
Cassie's the exception because of what we've been through.
Right.
In that instance, fine. No, you can't be friends with your ex, and we agree in that respect.
Yeah, but you could do it with Cassie, even if she found a new guy.
100%.
Interesting. See, that's where, and I think we could pull in your example of that sexual text. That's where this makes a lot more sense, right? Because in that situation, I feel so if I was put in that situation, right, and there was that sexual tension with me and my ex, and then she found a boyfriend, I would be like, oh, I don't know if I want to be in this anymore. I just feel like it'd just get, I would love to stay in this, but I feel like the sexual tension could play a big factor. And I think that's what you were alluding to, right?
Yeah, it just depends because sometimes over time sexual tension can go down or whatever, and if you have numerous partners in the middle, then you kind of might get numb to it, whatever. But if it's to the point where it's I don't even trust myself to be around this person because I might fuck up their current relationship doing some fuck shit. We grab drinks, some shit might happen, and then it's all whatever.
Yeah.
I mean,
also, I think it's a factor of how, I think a big factor too is how the relationship ends. Maybe not in your case, but in a lot of cases it might be that, right? Because if it ends on really good terms, you know what I mean? No one cheated on each other and you guys broke up because for whatever reason it just couldn't work out. For me, because that's happened to me, and I'm like, oh, this sucks because there was that spark there. It could have been. And if I saw her, and we could hang out often, right? But there was none of that relationship because it just adds more baggage onto it, right? It adds more responsibility. And I saw her find a new relationship, I'd be like, I kind of got to cut my losses now. That's just me though, right? Just because I feel I'm still that invested in her. And I just don't want to see that go. I want her to be happy, but not at the expense of my, suffering.
And I get where you're coming with that, right? My only thing is when it comes to that instance where you're with someone and you are kind of invested in them still, and they get a new partner and they move on, that sort of thing doesn't really bother me anymore because once somebody you date, once your ex gets a new person, it's not hard anymore at that point, right? They're going to automatically start spending less and less time with you because now there is a new person in their life who is demanding more.
Right, and that's where we can agree that it would start slowly going into that aspect of just on good terms. Right. That's where it takes it.
Right. And in that respect, yeah, fine.
Right.
You guys aren't friends.
But actively, I don't think it's possible.
Actively,
the only to me the biggest two factors would be who you guys were before.
That's very true. That's so true.
Because if you're just going to bars or you're just in college and you just meet someone and get together, that's different than if you've been around this person through high school, you've been around this person through college.
Right.
Then it's you're not okay just because it didn't work out as a relationship. You're gonna cut the losses, them being your friend. I don't know if you do that. If you have the history.
Yeah,
right.
Again, that's where the investment
given the opportunity,
and it ended on a good note. If you have the history and you cheated on them, that shit's still that's lost. That's not gonna happen. But
right.
If you have the history and it ended on good terms, then it's Why would you lose a friend?
Right.
And a fucking girlfriend.
And that's what I mean by investment, right? Because like you put a lot of effort in that, and you're like, oh, it ended on good terms. It just didn't work out because like we have clashing ideologies or something like that in the sense of a relationship. Like, okay, I get that.
Right.
But if it gets to the point where they find someone new, it'll like. I think like just logically, it just eventually just goes into good terms. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, I will say this, right? I won't say this because I was already about to like your definition of friendship. I was about to be like, no.
our parameters.
I'm trying to stay in my lane. Trying to stay in my lane.
It's hard when you're Mr. Nice Guy.
I am Mr. Nice Guy.
Yeah. We get your personality type, and we understand that. Like, dude, you fit that bill where it works out all the time.
Right.
Now, that's cool.
And I understand what you're saying. And yeah, that instance, there's really no in the instance that you were saying, right, where you guys happen to be in a way of life where you guys are still seeing each other through school all the time. Then in that instance, yeah, there's no point to losing the friend.
Right.
Because then now there's just one person actively in your life also actively against you. Right? Or just not about you in any way. You don't want that. You never want that. Especially with someone you spent months to years to just trying to make them
you learn about them, just understanding them. Exactly.
Yeah, like the things I know about my ex, Lord, I wish I could forget. I still check out rooftops. And I'm not going to tell you why, but I do every day. Every day I make sure the rooftops are clear. I'm not going to tell you why, but she's the reason for that. She's the reason why I kind of go like, okay, everything's cool. Now I don't believe anything's really going to ever happen to me, right? Involving those rooftops.
You're just like kind of spilling it more and more, you know that?
Well, do you get what you know what I'm talking about, right? I can
allude to it, yeah. I can allude to it.
I don't want to get shot, motherfucker. Like God.
I'm not gonna say why I'm looking at rooftops.
No.
And then he just goes on to explain.
I'm just kidding. There's another reason for the rooftops. Either way, like there's always gonna be a part of me that kind of went and say, yeah. If you look at fucking those 3 years, it's all about her. Those 3 years. Yeah, definitely. But when we broke up, we still had another year of high school to get through. And even after that, it was so weird. Because I don't know if you know this, but his ex and my ex roommated all throughout college.
Oh, interesting.
Right? They roommated all throughout college, and then there was this other girl that we went to middle school with, too, that roommated with both of them. And now, he was allowed in there because, he went to Berkeley, they were close, and they were still friendly. Not friends, friendly. Specifying, because I'm a friendly guy. But, in that respect, fine, yeah. No, you're not friends. Because there's no point to being friends. What the fuck? Like,
it's not like there's no point to being friends. It's just I feel like in some aspects too, you just grow out of it. You know what I mean? Like you just like there's so much change going on through the years. Like you're bound to like I don't know if you're not hanging out with that person often. In that time gap, it gets wider and wider. You just learn that like oh wow things get so much different.
Well, I mean, but still, right? Like Addison. Addison is one of our really good friends.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't really talk to him, but we send each other memes. Does that count? If you send a meme a day, does that count as friendship?
Yeah.
All right.
See, like again, we're in those parameters, right?
I could have that with my ex, right? Where we're sending memes. I'd be like, and my girlfriend wouldn't even mind. She'd be like, "Is that your only way of communicating with your ex?" I'd be like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna actually try to pick up."
Okay, but if Addison was in town, right?
You'd
be hanging out with him as much as you can. Right. If your ex was in town, it'd be like one beer session, right?
If my ex is in town, yeah, it'd be one beer session.
That's the difference between Addison and your ex, right? In the terms of friends.
Well, still no.
How did we get that?
No. Here's what I'm saying. Okay. There are other reasons why I won't go get the second or third or fourth beer session. And it comes down to really, it's not my problem with her. It's that I'm in a relationship now. One beer session for maybe 2-3 hours. You catch up at a bar, you go home. That's fine, right? But when your ex, because my ex doesn't live in the state, so when she comes down, I don't even know when she comes down anymore. I don't even try to check.
Yeah.
Because
Sure.
I'm not trying to be a part of that. Right? I'm not trying to actively come out here and be like, hey, I know I haven't seen you or your family in years.
Right. So
Let's catch
in
up.
those parameters, that just means that you're not friends
We're
with
not
her.
friends.
In that scheme of things, right?
In that scheme of things,
Right.
yes, right. But if I was single, right, and she came back in town, yeah, we could grab a couple beers multiple times, right? Because with Cassie right now, if Cassie moved away, broke up with me, moved away, and she came back in town, I'd see her every week she was down, at least once. Because Cassie means a lot to me. She means more to me. Even if she was my ex, she'd mean more to me than my other ex, hands down, without a competition, like no competition.
Yeah, we know that. Yeah,
You're not questioning that. But that's what I'm trying to get at.
I know.
Being friends is about really who you are and your situation. If you're in a relationship and your partner doesn't find that like as a comfortable thing, isn't comfortable with that idea, you have to just accept it. That's not like me and Cassie. There was this whole thing, right? I'm not friends with Bianca as we've specified. I shouldn't have said her name.
I think I like the idea, not the idea of you and Cassie breaking up, but putting that perspective in better.
Right.
Because you had a way closer relationship with Cassie.
Yeah.
Right?
Easy.
So, okay, let's put it this way. If you guys broke up, you got in another relationship, and that girl didn't want you to see Cassie.
Oh, fuck that bitch.
Okay.
This new bitch. Yeah, nah.
But, exactly.
No. Cassie.
No, but I'm just saying, like, that's what it means.
In a relationship, and she wasn't okay with you being close to your ex, that wouldn't be a deal breaker.
That would be 100%. If it was purely she doesn't feel comfortable with me being friends with Cassie, that's a deal breaker.
Well, let's just generalize to exes, and Cassie fits into that bubble, right?
It's still a deal breaker.
Right,
if she didn't care about Cassie but cared about Bianca, fine. Whatever. Yeah, you can go ahead and care about that because I don't give a fuck about the bitch.
Right, we get that. I understand that you're specializing one over the other, but I'm just saying they group it into the term exes, right?
Yeah,
I don't want you seeing any of your. I know, I get that, but that's what I'm just trying to generalize right here.
Because the thing is, at the end of the day, I appreciate one thing more than anything else. If you're somebody who knows me, right? Like, you know what goes on inside this fucking skull. And somebody new in my life wants to go ahead and try to control that, right? Wants to go ahead and say, yeah, she knows too much about you. I don't feel comfortable with this, right? Because I get why that makes people feel uncomfortable. When you have someone like that and you go into a room and that person's there and you're with that new person, all of a sudden your new person's gonna have some questions because you and your ex are going to interact in a specific way that pertains to you.
Right. There's that special connection.
Right. There's that old special connection that you had. And again, Cassie doesn't like me talking to Bianca, and I don't care about that because, quite frankly, Bianca does not mean that much to me. And her name's not really Bianca, but that's the name I picked. But if you look at Cassie breaking up with me, yeah, I shouldn't even try. I tried. Can you cut that out for me, please? I'm an idiot. I'm such an idiot.
Okay.
We'll keep it going.
Oh my god. Sorry.
Oh, that was so dumb.
That was my fault.
This is gonna be a rough episode. I'm sorry, video. It's gonna be rough editing for you after this one. Anyway.
Go ahead.
Anyway, if my new girl, right, didn't like Cassie, it just can't happen because Cassie's gonna be my friend if it ever ends, which I hope it doesn't, right? And we don't ever see it happening.
Yeah.
But if it ended, I'd hang out with Cassie all the time, right?
Sure.
I want to be like, hey, let me head over and we'll watch Netflix and chill.
Right.
No, but we go out. We probably go do some stuff. I'll be like, hey, I'm going to the beach today. I know you ain't doing anything today, because you know your ex, right? I know you ain't doing shit. You wanna come? we just hang out.
Yeah, see, I can't relate to that again because I haven't been. I again, there's just been so much time, right? I can't even. I haven't had an experience like that. I guess you haven't either, so you could speculate. But like, I mean, again, based on my experiences, that's just not how it turned out for me. Yeah.
And it's not how it usually turns out, because that's, again, you know why it turns that why
Oh,
that
for
works that way
sure.
with me and Cassie, because in the first year me and Cassie were together, we went through 5 times more shit than I ever went through with my ex. Right away, I immediately went, my ex can go do whatever the fuck she wants.
Yeah.
Because I was with you for 3 years, and our biggest problem was you didn't like my attitude. All right, that was our biggest problem. I wanted to go out and hang out with the boys and get drunk, and they brought girls sometimes, and you got jealous. That was our whole problem, right? And I mean, there are other problems with my attitude otherwise, but that's what the biggest issue we had to overcome was. With Cassie, you already know that's not the problem. That was never the biggest problem, and that's still not ever going to be the biggest problem we ever had. And the biggest problems we had didn't break us; they brought us closer, and that is why, if I'm ever going to be single again, quite frankly, you already know if I'm ever going to be single again, I'm giving up. I'm not fucking dating.
Yeah, I can't see that happening.
Shit,
I guess for you, I guess for a lot of people too, it boils down to magnitude, right?
Yeah.
In the sense that like that history, that development, that investment that you put into, you're just like, I'm not. It's again, it's almost like finances, right? It's like I'm not fucking gonna. Like I just saw, or like a business, right? I just saw this baby grow. I'm not gonna give up on this. You know what I mean?
But I also want to specify, sometimes being friends with your ex is honestly just not.
It's not in the cards for sure.
It's not. Yeah, because it's one thing to go and say, yeah, they're nearby, they're still in my life, so we hang out. That's fine. There's no effort involved there. They're always gonna be in your life for some reason.
You almost like have to like even like for searching for a new partner in that situation, you have to put yourself in a new parameter. You know what I mean? You're like, okay, these are my like requirements to date. You have to be okay with me hanging out with this one ex that I have. Okay. Right. So that just adds I guess that adds that one thing of complication. Right. But to you, it's worth it, right?
But to me, it's worth it. But also to me, right? It's not like I'm gonna go ahead and say, yes, you and me, Cassie, friends to the day we die because of this one relationship. No, Cassie's eventually gonna go ahead and grow, and I'm gonna go ahead and grow.
Yeah.
And being a part of each other's lives just isn't a convenient thing anymore, right? Because with you guys are a part of my life because we're not tied down by any random reason. I'm not in your life because you go ahead and say, yeah, Kendall, well, he did all that shit for me, so I gotta make sure I hang out with him at least once a week.
Right.
No, I'm in your life and you're in my life because
by choice.
And not even like, well, obviously a choice, yes, but it's just convenient and easy for us to do this. Coming down to the studio, doing something like this once a week, and even coming down sometimes on Mondays or Wednesdays when we're just studying. That is not effort. That is just a nice time.
Yeah, exactly.
But with your ex, it's not like that.
Right.
It's effort at that point. It's effort because you got to go ahead and say, yes, I'm hanging out with my ex, and here are the ground rules. No sexual attention.
Right. I was just about to bring that up. It's like, now you got to set parameters on that thing too, where it's like, okay, we got to avoid anything that'll bring out any sexual attention, so it cuts out some of the activities that we used to do. So like, you just make it smaller and smaller and smaller of opportunities to hang out too.
Right. And that's, at the end of the day, that's all it is, right? It's where you stand with that person, and if where you stand allows for friendship, fine. Like for me and my ex, we could be friends because I guarantee you there'd be no sexual tension, because when I see her, all I would do is ask her about her boyfriend. Because I like that guy. That was a solid man. I've never met a dude like that ever in my life. He was like he seemed just as nice as me, like just as friendly as me. And I don't meet many people as friendly as me in this world.
Yeah, I think where I stand now, like if I was like speaking literal terms, I think I could be friends with all my exes, to be honest. Like if it just like I hung out with them again and it was like everything started aligning and we had the same interests, Be like, yeah, because I don't think, again, there's maybe one exception, but there's like no sexual tension anymore. You know, it's like there's no, like if anything, it would be on them. You know.
Yeah.
I'd be like, all right, I'm good, to being just friends.
I mean, but I also want to say to all the women out there that are listening to him say that it's hard for people not to be attracted to this man with his rock hard abs and his workout schedule and his hairdo and his skincare routine and his look and his outfit. I get it. I get it. That's why he doesn't feel sexual tension. He doesn't need to. He just walks out on the street and people throw panties at his face. All right. And with that, it's your boy Waffles.
And your boy Maui.
I knew this was gonna happen once I said it. I thought about this 5 minutes ago, and I was like, I gotta say this into the mic. And this is Couch Surfers. And, oh wait! Before we end it, my love, I love you. Bye.